Hello, everybody. I'm Victor T. Robinson II. I'm also the author of the SledgeHammer, SledgeHammer Good vs. Evil, and also the Ballad of Mayhem. Now, my books are going to be new form of entertainment. I'm telling you. Like the SledgeHammer is about a guy. He's a superhuman man, like Superman. He came from another universe, which is the Almagran universe, which is actually the Marvel and DC universe. And he was ended up fighting in a big apocalypse fight between something called the Trilogy. Trilogy is kind of like the Thing. If you ever seen the movie called Underwater, those things that was killing Kristen Stewart in the movie. The things under the damn 20 years that leads to the sea. And if you've seen Deep Rising, that same thing, that same monster that was terrorizing people in Deep Rising, and also The Thing, which was the movie of Kurt Russell, and it was mimicking things. That's what they were fighting. The big ass thing come from outer space. Of course, Superman was there, Batman was there, Captain America wasn't there. This is in his own universe. Iron Man, all of them are still alive, and it was futuristic. And anyway, that story, that superhuman man I'm talking about, called the SledgeHammer, he was made by Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, who's also in the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man, and those movies. And he was the one that was against the Hulk, dating his daughter and stuff. But in the book is he wanted to create an Ultimate Soldier with all these superheroes, Wolverine, Batman's technical abilities and all that stuff, made into one man, and they cloned him in person in a lab made by his doctor, and which actually she used their eggs to bore him to make him in the dish, so she is actually her son. But anyway, the SledgeHammer, who's also named is Cameron Ford, he fights the Trilogy. Actually, before he even fight the Trilogy, he was fighting against the Justice League. He wasn't a villain, but he was mostly doing whatever America wanted him to do. They treated him like he was a soldier. They sent him out in the field. If the Avengers were in line, he would put them in line. He said, "Hey, I'm not going to let you. The Thunderbolt wants you guys to do this. If you don't do it, I'm going to take your ass out." And he was up there. He was violent. He was a young guy. He was like about in his 20s. He's 18, 19 years old with all this power. And he has all these different types of power in him. He's made from different parts of all superheroes at that time. And the main thing he has is he can fly. He's like Superman, but he can fly. He's not as strong as Superman. He's got regeneration straight from Wolverine. And he got superhuman strength also, but he's not superhuman like Superman, He can take your shot, he can shoot him up with guns and bullets and everything else, and next thing you know, he's got to rest for a little bit so he can rehabilitate that. But anyway, he fights the Trilogy. The last remaining superheroes, they fight him, the Trilogy, and they fuck it up really bad. A lot of good superheroes died. Batwoman died. Flash, the Punisher dies. All those people that were fighting in Marvel, but it's actually a Marvel DC thing. It's not in the Marvel universe. It's another multiverse. But I wrote this story before they even did the Spider-Man and all that stuff. So, in this thing, it goes to the wall. It's balls to the wall because Superman's about to have a baby. His son is in the hospital, and Lois Lane is there, and he's got to be with his family. And they automatically know that the SledgeHammer has to do what he has to do. So he goes and he flies, and he fights the rest of the Trilogy. The Trilogy gets broken off, and pieces of it land. So the Trilogy goes through outer space, and he follows it. And he falls into a black hole. The Trilogy falls to the black hole too. And he wakes up in another universe. The universe is actually, to us, it's the horror universe. Because everything is in that universe. Like you watch the movies, you watch Nightmare on Elm Street, you watch Halloween, you watch all that. In this universe, that stuff's real. That stuff is completely real. The Annabelle horror, the guy killed his family and all that stuff. But in the story, ghosts, you got ghosts is real. So he lands up in Alaska. But he's not in the future. It was like 2025, and the one he came from. Now he's in 1985 or 1982. 1982 is where he's at. He has no identity. He has his ID and stuff on him, but his military ID and all of that, and now he has to start from scratch in another dimension. So the sledgehammer goes into another dimension. He does what he does. He has a rebuild. He's got Tony Stark's brain. Don't forget that too. Yeah, he's got Tony Stark's mindset. He got the smart set. He's got a GPA through the roof. Every ability was taken away from all of them, these heroes. He was trained with the League of Shadows. He was taught how to do guns and stuff from Frank Castle. He's dealt with it, but he also betrayed, superheroes and stuff. He was an asshole. Just saying, he went up against some superheroes in the Civil War between the battles between each other. He went at them, both of them, hand to hand. Fought Batman. He fought Superman. He got his ass whooped. More of a style, you'd think he would be like more of a villain. He killed the Joker. Brutally killed her. He tortured the Joker to death. That's what the sledgehammer did, which pissed Batman off. Because Batman's like, we don't kill people. But Joker killed his girlfriend, so what the hell you think the sledgehammer was going to do? So this sledgehammer, he was called sledgehammer because he was a hammer. They call him the hammer man. If the Avengers and Justice don't get in line, you put the hammer down. That's what he called the sledgehammer. That's why. And when he fucking pissed off the wrong person, they send a sledgehammer at your ass. Puts your ass in line. And that's what he was. And in this world he's in now, he's got to rebuild himself. So he was doing stuff as a thief. He was stealing stuff. And, he needed money to eat and all that stuff. He was using all that stuff he used, but he didn't want to do something. He realized he was in a different world. And he said, I'm going to go to school, get me a degree. So he found a thing for night school at a high school. Decided he started doing that and go to college. Started building shit, making him like an identity for himself, as you will. And he went to college, and then he met a beautiful woman named Rachel. And years go by, he becomes a teacher at a high school, which is actually haunted in Alaska. In Anchorage, Alaska. And the school has been built not on a battleground. No, it's built on history of Alaska's gold rush. Stuff happened in the 1800s and stuff. And ghosts running around the building, warning about the bad ghosts, the ones that are buried underneath the school. So happily, he's been working in that school for about three or 4 years. Everything's great. He's a good man of community. He also is part of the Alaska National Guard. He goes in there, he handles his shit. He takes care of business. Everybody loves him. He's like the fun teacher. Everybody says, okay, it's cool. Of course, there are people who've seen ghosts in the building for years. People went to school in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s. They saw the ghosts. But there's one type of ghost that's in the building that's been very kind of dormant, and his name is Acid Man. He was a teacher, a chemistry teacher that everybody kind of liked, but he had a dark past because he was part of he was a Nazi. It was back in the 1950s when he got this job. He was like one of those Nazis that were relocated after the war. So he got relocated in this town in Alaska as a chemistry teacher, and he's actually the one that built the chemicals to kill the Jews during the Holocaust. He's the one that did all that. He was a high member of the society, and somehow he got himself in Alaska as a teacher. And a couple of years went by. He had a host detention. One of the girls in the classroom was like about 5 or 6 kids in the classroom, and kids were in the class. And one of the girls tried to seduces him. And the guy was playing with chemicals all the time. He left a thing of Bassett on his desk. And I don't know what he thought. And then she came over there playing around, playing with her fingers and stuff, trying to seduce him so she can get out of there and go to a party. And they say, no, the chemicals fall. She hits the chemicals on the desk. It falls in his lap. He started burning and stuff. And then everybody's all scared. Like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And then she says, you got to do something. You got to do something. What the fuck can we do? His face is all fucked up because the acid splashed in his face. It's all over his lap. He's burning up real good. So the girls, all the screaming he was doing was kind of throwing people off balance. So he pushes them out the fucking window. They pushes him out the window, second story window. He breaks his legs, but he's still alive. So they go downstairs, and there's nobody in it. This is a Saturday detention, like Breakfast Club. So they go and they grab him and they put him in the furnace and burn his ass alive. Only person actually in the building is a janitor who's actually been living in the building. It's a guy hanging around the school. He's like, what's going on with the kids? He got the afro, got the thing in his head. And he's actually the first one to die of acid man, because later that day, because he stays in this building, he sleeps in there. Acid man came back and scared him to death. Kind of like Freddy Krueger, almost, but he's acid burned. But acid man doesn't come out on being dormant until this girl named Justine shows up. Now, this girl, Justine, she's a teenage girl. She's like 15 years old. She comes to school. She just had a problem during the summertime with her and her friends. They played with a Ouija board, and they brought a demon out called the Conjurer. He conjures demons, gives demons their power. He can make evil spirits into demons. All he has to do is give them something and manifests them to demons. Evil spirits who has no soul, they're like in purgatory mostly, but he can make them into demons, give them that power. The evil is one can become a demon. So this girl and her friends decided to open a Ouija board up, and they conjure him. And they were just playing. And they let him out. He possessed her. He took over her body and then made her do things that she wouldn't do. It's not like The Exorcist. But he made her do things to her family, torture them, souls, secrets, and everything else. But her brother, who was living in the States, came to Alaska. Because she's in Arkansas City, Alaska. That's her. Not Arkham, Anarchy City. That's where she's at. So she just moved over to a little town, Anchorage, so she can just go to school. But she can't go to school back there because she did some stuff when she was possessed. She fucked up some lives in there. And so she had to come back here to Anchorage. And the demon followed her. Because they did get rid of it. Because her brother had a girlfriend named Mia, who's a witch, and she used some kind of magic spell to do an exorcism. It's bad. Witches can't do exorcisms. That's an oxymoron. So, but that was the only way to do it. They had a priest. They also had the people from the Conjuring come in there and help them out. Ed and them come and help her out. But it was bad. Real bad. Traumatized her. Even her, now she's coming to school. She's coming to the new school now. And long story short, the demon is a parasitic demon. And as soon as he got to the school, he realized to him, he saw the whole school like, he saw the evil spirits roaming around the school, and he decided, I'm going to infect it with my stuff. And then I can take all the souls of all the children in this building. So everybody in this building, all these kids are being targeted by the Conjurer, who's actually the main villain in this book. But Acid Man is his general, because that's the one that's killed a lot of people. That's the one. So he's going to use him to kill the kids. Like Freddy's Jason. You get the blood and I'll get the glory, like that. So the demon gets the glory and he gets the blood and everything. The shit starts brutalizing out, because you also know the kids who get killed becomes back as dead people, because you got like a lot of dead things. It's kind of like Evil Dead a little bit. It's kind of like Evil Dead a little bit too. So the SledgeHammer is a teacher. And it's what happened when all the hell is created out, because the first people get killed, first group of kids get killed, and the Sledgehammer's walking around in school, like, what the hell's going on? We got missing children dying, and we got this damn thing. The big thing that happened is a lot of people are dying. Not under the nose of him. He doesn't hear it, doesn't see it. But during the detention he's into, the girl goes to the bathroom with her friends, and next thing you know, lights flickering, and the acid man comes in and he starts killing, slashing the girl's head through the window, puts her head in a toilet full of acid. And the other one, he takes out a big old piece of glass, slashes her whole entire face off. And one girl gets out of there, runs in the hallway, she's screaming. And next thing you know, acid man just bashed this girl's skull in. And the sledgehammer comes in, busts through the door, and it's just a fight. Wham, wham, wham. I mean, it's like a bam, bam, bam. Thing about it is, later on, I fight. The whole story is fight, fight, fight. He's bashing. It's something you've never seen in a movie before. Have you ever seen a superhero fight something like an Evil Dead type thing? I mean, bam, bam, bam. It's just like an Evil Dead. Take Ash out, put a superhuman man in there. Put a Wolverine in there, and he can fuck those deadites up quick and fast. But they're not deadites, they're spirits. And you read that book, you're going to realize there's a lot of shit going on in that book. I may not be an expert book writer. It might have some things in there. But think about the entertainment. Because the entertainment is everything. Now, the Sledgehammer, it will entertain the fuck out of you. It took me months to write the story, and months. That's just the tip of the iceberg with the Sledgehammer. That story is story. Forget about that story. How about the sequel to Sledgehammer? Good versus Evil. Now, Good versus Evil is my pride and joy because I just watched Halloween Kills. I watched Halloween Kills, and then I watched the Low-Key. And I was watching a lot of shit at that time when that came out. And I watched Redundant, too. And a movie called No Mercy. And all these movies I'm talking about inspired me to write this Sledgehammer Good versus Evil. Now, of course, the Sledgehammer was set in the 80s. This one is set in 89. And the Sledgehammer, the first part of the story is not about it. It's about the girl, his wife's sister. She goes to a party in Canada. They're going to see the Edge Fest in Canada, and they're going to party and rock. You got everybody. They got Sarah McLachlan there. You got R.E.M. at the thing. It's a true thing called Edge Fest in Canada. On their way to Canada, they stopped in a small town. There's a psychopath roaming around this little dark alley. It's an old abandoned hotel right there in Canada. It's kind of cold. It's kind of like I think I said it was in January. I know in July. It's in July. And this thing is kind of hot out there. And these kids, the car is overheating. And this book has a soundtrack. Because I got a playlist on Spotify I was listening to the Halloween Kills theme, the Halloween Kills soundtrack, which is actually the best soundtrack of a horror movie this decade. And I listened to a little bit of The Cure, and you listen to a little Cyndi Lauper, and you listen to a little bit of Peter Gabriel, which is actually where I got the Sledgehammer title from. And this story is so Good versus Evil. It's like better. It's like a slasher movie, and I'm telling you like this. This guy I created in this book, his name is Mickey Michaels, ex-rock star from the 70s. He was a rock star, like part of Kiss or part of Rolling Stones, and he had a girlfriend, and his friends kicked him out the band because he was doing too much coke. He tried to kill himself, but decided not to. He heard from somebody told him that he needed to make them pay for what they did. So they're at a hotel getting ready for a party. Next thing you know, Mickey Michael showed up and killed all his people, his bandmates. He killed the people who were living in the hotel, enjoying their beautiful Valentine's Day weekend, and he kills them all, except for his girlfriend, who he wanted to be his wife. Before he could kill her, he was gunned down. Not really killed, but he was gunned down by the police and put in a mental institution. And that mental institution was tortured by the doctor in the hospital. They were tortured over and over again, trying to figure out what he is, why he's doing what he did, why he killed all those people. And then he killed the people that fucking tortured him, and he escaped. And he's in this place where these kids' car broke down at, and he's got a mask, a Adidas mask. And, well, while the kids go inside the hotel while it's raining, this guy's playing with his car, his baby, and his girlfriend comes out and gets in the car. She starts playing Cyndi Lauper's Good Enough on the radio, and music plays right. While she's playing the music, next thing you know, Nicky, walks up to the back of him. The car is radiating hot heat. So he takes the guy's head and puts it on the radiator, and his face peels off. But she's black. They got the music blasting so loud, so you don't hear him dying. And his face is burning on a damn thing. Burning. And his face peels off on the thing. He's like, oh, fuck. He's still alive. So puts his head back under there again, and bam, 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 bam. The hood of the car. Bam! Crushes his head in the skull. Bam! And she's up there just singing, good enough, good enough. She's on fire. Yeah. About 3 times. The music in the trunk. The music in the hood. Same time with the bump and the bump and the bump. Next thing you know, she looks, blood everywhere. Her eyes open up. And next thing you know, he pulls her at the car, slams on the floor, and bam! Bam! It is brutal as hell. All these kids start dying left and right. And they're putting up a fight. It's like, they stick together. Stick together don't mean shit. He went through them like butter. So in the end, what happens, and got a lot of music playing, got Toy Soldiers playing by Maurice Keaty, and the whole thing is just brutal. It ends up with her being in the hospital, and her friends being in the hospital too. It's just her, and they say no. He SledgeHammer found out what happened to her sister. She's like his sister because he has no family, so that's his family. So him and her took a train. They come to there, and Mickey shows up at the hospital. He shows up, and the security staff, the hospital staff, they get all brutally murdered. And he kills them all. SWAT team shows up. He goes to them like nothing. They shoot him bullets. He takes a gun. He shoots them. Then the SledgeHammer shows up. It's a fight. But SledgeHammer is no match. Because you got to understand, SledgeHammer is not immortal. He's not invincible. He just regenerates. He's not like that. But the thing about the SledgeHammer is his powers come in differently. He might lose the ability to fly, and he'll have the strength. Maybe he'll get laser vision just like him, and not. Maybe the claws will come out one day. But in this one, he's got to fight this son of a bitch because you got to be more. He's got to be more than power. You can't kill everything in brute force. Sometimes you got to be smart in how you kill it. Maybe it's also Durant's because he has high tolerance for pain. Mickey doesn't die easily. He's not Michael Myers. I'm telling you that right now. Fuck Michael Myers. This guy had nothing on Michael Myers. This guy right here, it's a thing for him. It's a reason why he's got to come. He's got to kill people. Because that's the job. Because he found out, which I gave out all this, why reason why Freddy kills, why Jason kills. It's not because of the camp and killing the kids. It's a job. It's called being a Reaper. And the Reaper are all the supernatural forces in the world. All the supernatural killers in the world are all Reapers. Candyman, Bloody Mary, all these people, Jason, Freddy, Leatherface, all these people were Reapers. They were given a job to keep the population down in the world, to keep it down. Because, we got millions and billions of people living in the world, so these people get to kill to eliminate it. So we have more food and more of the help. It's a reason. People dying inspires other people to do this and that. For the whole world of living, dying inspires living. It does. When a person gets brutally murdered, you say, that would not happen to me. I will do better than that. I'll do more than that. That made me get an alarm system out. That made me have a gun underneath my bed because I don't want to die like how she died. Makes you more stronger that way. And I know it's tragic, but that's how it does happen. Bad shit has to happen in order for the good shit to happen. You got to stay and be tortured over and over again. And that's what happens. That's why we got all these people killing. They're all part of the Reapers thing. All these people getting brutally murdered and slashed and diced. Not the Grim Reaper now. I'm talking about the Reaper. The Reaper is the one that gets paid to do this shit. Gets paid to put your ass to dead. There's a heaven and hell for a reason. Just saying. That's what the damn killer does. But the SledgeHammer doesn't see it that way. You fuck with his family, he's going to fuck you up. So yeah, them two went at it in the hospital. He couldn't kill him and he couldn't kill him. It was a fight. It was brutal. Imagine getting stabbed over and over again by this motherfucking psycho. And it's just stab, 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 stab. You're doing everything. You got the power. You flying around with this motherfucker. You slamming his ass down. It ain't doing shit. Him, you got superpowers. Don't faze him. It don't. SWAT team come in the building with 10 guys. That don't faze him. He went to those motherfuckers with an axe. Wham! Wham! They shot with a shotgun. The bitch with a shotgun, he grabbed that shotgun and shoved her ass through a wall. Bam. One stroke. Done. So he fucked up everybody. He even fucked up the SledgeHammer. Yeah, he fucked him up. After he did all the bam and bam, like kind of like Sylvester Stallone and Van Damme and Expendables 2. Wham! Bam! Bam! He was doing all that. Bam! 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 Next thing you know, wham! Slammed him down. Body slammed him on the ground. Grabbed the knife. Wham! 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 Oh, damn. Stabbed with another knife. Bam! And then he's just sitting there while he gets scratched by killing the SWAT team. He pulls out all the knives out of him. Shit. Hurting like a motherfucker. Hurting like a motherfucker. So that's what happens. That's how it goes down, because that's the way it has to go down. That's what you talking about, kicking ass and taking names. He just took an ass whooping, and now he got back up, took him away from the remaining SWAT team guys, took him to the abandoned part of the wing, and they had their own other fight. It's a draw, because he is falling out the window into a paramedics, and he killed the entire paramedics and drove the car off. Then you find out later on, he's not done killing. He's got to go find his girlfriend that he's supposed to kill, and she's all the way in New Orleans. So while the SledgeHammer's trying to recuperate, find out what the fuck am I going to do? How am I going to take this fucking guy? I lost 2 fights with this guy. Found out she's a teacher in New Orleans. So he decides to go down there. Leave his wife and his sister-in-law behind. Decided to go to New Orleans and get ready for the fight. He makes him a suit, an armor. Kind of like Tony Stark's Iron Man, but it's red. Kind of like Daredevil's suit in the Netflix series. That right there, knife-proof. Got it all covered up. Got him a weapon in his arm. Like knife. Retractable knife. And a retractable sledgehammer. Because this time he's not going to fight him. He's going to fuck him up. Because he know damn well he's not going to get his ass killed again. He's not going to get stabbed over and over again. But it's a big body count coming. A big body count coming. And I'm not going to tell you the rest of the story. You got to read it. Yeah. And I'm going to give you, I was going to tell everything. I'll give you another bonus. Ballad of Mayhem. Now, the Ballad of Mayhem is the aftermath of Halloween 5 and the aftermath of Halloween 6. Well, you know, if you watch Halloween 5, you know Jamie was kidnapped by the Cult of Thorns. There was a little boy in that movie named Billy. He was an orphan. I made him an orphan, okay? His family was killed by a member of the Cult of Thorns. He's actually connected with Jamie. His brother, Billy had a brother, died. He was kind of like not adopted. He was like a estranged brother. You know, his mom, when she was young, she had a baby boy, and she gave him away because she was too young. That boy went around and decided to become a killer. Started slicing and dicing me when he got a teenager. And little Billy, his mom and dad were killed, and he was traumatized by watching his mom and dad being tortured by this guy, who was actually his brother. And this little Billy, the one who was friendly with Jamie, became an FBI agent. Badass FBI agent, tracking down serial killers. That's his expertise, tracking down serial killers. So happily, he decides he founds the Cult of Thorns in Los Angeles. This case he's been working on. He was really in love with Jamie. It was a young love. Heard about what happened to her in, Halloween 6 storyline. She died. But she had a son named Steven, who was actually, supposedly everybody kept saying Michael Myers is her baby daddy. He was also her uncle. No, fuck that. I changed that. There was the guy who's actually the one who killed Billy's family. His estranged brother is actually the dad of Jamie's baby. He was the one that raped her. And Steven is a serial killer. Kind of like the main, not the main leader, but Call of Thorns was all slaughtered by Michael. 1985, yeah. But then the person who was there at night, because this guy's brother was there that night, Christian. He was there that night when Michael killed all his family. So that's not in the book, but I'm going to give you the unbooked version, the uncut version of my book. You see, can't write the shit in the book because it's what you call, that's something they got to do. Hollywood's got to do that, but my version is simplified. Michael is the granddaddy of the Cult of Thorn. He's the main guy. In the book, I call him Uncle Mike. See, Michael killed all these people in Halloween 6, the Cult of Thorn. But Christian was there. He's the same age as Michael, mostly. And that night, Michael didn't kill all these people. Christian is the second in charge of the Cult of Thorns. Michael's the top. And the number one ace at the bottom is Christian. Christian didn't listen to the Cult of Thorns at all. He didn't give a fuck. But Michael did. Michael listened, but only by magic. You see, Christian fucked Michael up. Michael's head up a little bit. Because he was performing spells and all that. So he was the one that, like the druid mostly. But he's a killer too. But he wasn't stupid enough to be in that building, exact building, when Michael went crazy. See, Michael killed everything, went on, tracked down his sister. Why didn't Laurie mother, Laurie and his mom. And Laurie and Jamie's mom. Because Jamie was supposed to have been dead in that accident. She didn't think her daughter was alive. That's why she wouldn't have her son. Because really, she did have an accident. a car accident, drinking and driving accident. That's my story. I'm just throwing it out there. But anyway, Billy is a successful FBI agent. Finds out the Cult of Thorn, but they don't call it the Cult of Thorn. They call it Rising of the Thorn. And they go around killing people, serial killers style. A cult killing people. So the FBI agent investigates, and Billy's face to face with his brother. He goes after him. He arrests one member of the Thorn, which is actually some guy named Mel, who's been targeting women all over the place. Because all these Cult of Thorn, they get to kill one member of their family. And of course, this guy did that. But he's been killing people all over Los Angeles. He killed a cop. He killed all these people. And he has to go down before he got it. As soon as Billy locks this fucker down, his members of the fam group comes to the police station and just kills everybody. And Billy gets blamed for all of it because they think he is part of the member of the cult too. But he's not. He hates these fucking people. Steven comes with his long blonde hair, tries to kill Billy, but Billy escapes. Also with the witness, that witness, this guy Mel, killed people in front of her. Throughout the whole story, Billy fights them all. A one-man army. Until Christian comes back into the picture. Christian and Steve decided they're going to go after his cousin, cousin's family, who took care of him when he got out of the children's mental institution, and lived with his aunt. They go after her. And everybody who he loves is being targeted by the Rising of the Thorn. And then his cousin's husband, his cousin's husband is a military man, Marine. And he's also teaching martial arts at a gym. And they come after him. And he handles the shit like he's supposed to handle the shit, like a man. Now these books, they're action-packed. I'm getting a headache just telling you about it. The reason I'm telling you about it is because I want you to read it. I want you to enjoy it. Good prices, they're not expensive. I'm not asking for a house and a home. Just asking you to read a good book. I want to know if I'm good enough to be your entertainer. I want to be your entertainer. I want to give you everything you need. Because men and women out there, they're bored with watching the same old stuff on TV all the time. They need someone to tell them, hey, I want to see something nice. I want to see something good. I want to see some blood. I want to see a superhero. I want to see Iron Man take on Jason Voorhees. Instead of imagining it, instead of thinking it, I want to see that shit. And that's what these books come in at, to show you the shit. They say, I want to see that. We saw Freddy vs. Jason. It could have been more better. I want to see more Freddy kills. I want to see more Jason. I want to see something real. That was just thrown together. It had a good thing. I watched it about 5 or 7 times, but we need a little bit more than that. So that's why I'm creating these books. And I have more books coming. You can read my other books. My first book, The Good Bad Situation. It's not a horror book. It's a mystery romance book. It's a lovely book. Good Bad Situation is a good book. Massive Damage Collection is good. Massive Damage Collection. Good ass action horror book. Almost Dead. Good action pack. It's like Resident Evil meets House of the Dead meets Casino Royale. I got more stuff coming, but you read these books and trust me, they're good. They are awesome. And you are good and awesome. Hashtag Dark Universe. Hashtag Dark Universe. Hashtag Dark Universe. That's what I want you to put out there. Hashtag Dark Universe.